Now is the time to start your own audio blog, your own YouTube channel. Now is the time to spread the word. Now is the time to organize. Now is the time to knock on doors and get the buzz going that there's a resistance to this. The buzz is there, but we've got to accelerate it and intensify it and redouble our efforts. We'll be right back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Alex told you the government announced recently that the recession is over. It ended on June of 2009. The millions of Americans unable to find work might not agree. Perhaps the recession ended for the bankers and government employees, but for the rest of us, things seem to be getting worse. Gold and silver haven't heard the news either. They've begun their long-expected journey to the moon. In addition to converting your shrinking dollars into gold and silver, you should consider a food savings account from eFoods Direct. They both make fabulous investments. Food is our greatest dependency, and we know it will be more precious than any financial resource. You and your family need food to survive a crisis, and you can't eat paper, stocks, or metals. Alex has been urging you to invest in delicious, easy-fix meals to enjoy now or save for long-term. This will freeze the cost of your food while you can still afford it. Visit efoodsdirect.com on the internet or call 800-409-5633. That's efoodsdirect.com or 800-409-5633.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com.
I could answer perhaps for my brother, who's a British Army colonel. And when I discussed WikiLeaks with him, he says that the impact of releasing private memos, private reports from the military when they're in operations is incredibly dangerous.
All right, go to my book. Sure,
I believe you agree with that.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But go to my book and see. Currently, our government every year declares 16 million things top secret. 16 million. I would say that's about everything. So what do we get to know about?
But my point is...
My point is, when they're abusing what's secret by classifying everything they do, the public can't see. Read in the back of the book what some of the great founders of this country said about secretive government.
Did you believe it was in the public interest that WikiLeaks revealed, for example, that Colonel Gaddafi had 4 mistresses?
I could care less how many women Colonel Gaddafi has.
No, but do you think, is it in the public interest to reveal that information?
I don't know. It's gossip. Doesn't bother me.
But when you were governor, you hated that kind of gossip against you and your family. In fact, you detested the media that spread any kind of gossip about your family.
They didn't spread gossip about my family.
They did about your son, right?
Oh, yeah, well, they trumped up charges on
Right,
it.
but what I'm saying is that kind of family gossip, private life stuff, isn't that where the line should be drawn with WikiLeaks? Why do you support everything they put out there? Given that you were so vocal about any private material coming out about you.
Then why is it okay for why is it okay for them to expose my private stuff?
I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying if you felt strongly that your private life was your private life, however much you think badly of Colonel Gaddafi...
somebody had to write about it, didn't they?
Why is Gaddafi's private life public interest?
What you're at here is a classic example of killing the messenger, not the message. If it wasn't written in the first place, there'd be no message, would there? So somebody wrote it to begin with. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't they be the ones who have put America in danger? It was the ones who wrote it?
No, because the whole point of being a diplomat is that when you report to your governments around the world, and wait, let me finish.
We're in sad shape when diplomats have to sit and lie, when they have to write things that people aren't allowed to read, and if they do read, they take offense to. Well, I would say that's part of the big problems of the world today.
Which were the lies in WikiLeaks?
I don't know.
You just said they were lying.
I didn't say they were lying.
You said it's a sad day when diplomats lie. Where were they lying?
I'm saying when they're saying bad things about other people. They wrote it.
But
all it was exposed.
And my point was that there may not be lies.
So in other words, Piers, you figure let government keep everything secret.
No,
it's all okay.
No.
It's all okay. Because somebody in government has deemed this top secret. So therefore, hands off.
I don't.
Because we don't dare know what our
don't put words in my mouth.
That's the clip about secrecy. There's another clip up on CNN where he says, well, you've got a conspiracy theory that the government was involved in 9/11. And he says, did George Bush blow up the towers? Did George Bush know? And he says, no. But Dick Cheney had knowledge of it. And, of course, Ventura's book has the stand-down orders signed in June 1st, where they took the shoot-down power for the first time in modern history away from the military. It was their default to shoot down aircraft. And they just told them, hey, that's the way it is. And then days after 9/11, they gave the power back. And then Corbyn, on the CNN clip they put on the web, cuts it off there, and Ventura can never respond. But Ventura went on to talk about how Norman Panetta was in the bunker and watched Cheney, saying the order still stands to basically not shoot down the aircraft. And Ventura went over, and it's in his book. He also, in fact, I'm trying to find it right now. He also went over the order itself that we have a copy of months before, saying to the military, you can't shoot down aircraft now. Before they had that default position, if one was hijacked or going to be flown into a building, they said, that you have the default to do that. Just like with Payne Stewart, they had the authorization already set to do it if need be. But they tied their hands. In fact, let me just get the actual page of this. It's page 216 in his new book, by the way, that's available at Infowars.com, page 216. And I'll show folks a document cam shot of that. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff instruction, aircraft piracy, hijacking, and destruction of derelict airborne objects. And in the cancellation of the document that was in place and then reauthorized in 97, but in place when NORAD was set up in 1957. It goes on to cancel CJCSI 3610.01 that authorized and had the default position for the Pentagon under NORAD control to shoot down any aircraft that were planned to be used as weapons or that were derelict and going to be crashing into population centers. That's why they followed Payne Stewart's plane just a few months before 9/11 and followed it for a long period of time with their AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles ready. But when it was going into a rural area in a cornfield, they made the decision not to shoot it down. They didn't need to get a Dick Cheney authorization. But on that morning, Dick Cheney was there in control, not just signing this order June 1st and giving it to Rumsfeld months before 9/11, but he was there that morning in control in the bunker to make sure and to say, no, the order still stands. But let's go ahead now and play that Ventura 9/11 clip. Here it is.
Let's move to 9/11. Your theory of 9/11 is what?
My theory of 9/11 is that we certainly, at best, we knew it was going to happen. They allowed it to happen to further their agenda in the Middle East and go to these wars.
So just to clarify, President George Bush knew that 9/11 was going to happen, that 3,000 people were going to get murdered.
They had all the information. If you looked at the NSA documents, if you look, well, put it to you this way. The August 6th memo was pretty clear.
Yeah, but do you genuinely believe, Jesse Ventura, that President George W. Bush knew 9/11 was going to happen?
No.
Why do you say it then?
No.
Well, why do you say it?
But I believe Dick Cheney knew it.
Really?
Yep.
You believe he knew it was going to happen?
I believe they had a good... Well, why did John Ashcroft quit flying commercial planes that summer and switch only to private planes? Why did that happen?
You don't honestly believe these people knew. I don't believe you believe that. You don't honestly think Dick Cheney knew it was going to happen. You can't do.
Do you really believe, Piers? It's not irrational.
I said it's not rational.
Excuse me. Do you really believe that evil people can't be in charge of governments? If you do, go talk to the Germans. They know a little about that evil people can get in charge. The governments are run by people. People can be bad.
So Dick Cheney is involved, Ashcroft's involved, all these people got together and planned 9. Come on, it's madness.
Oh, that's madness. But you'll fully accept that 19 Islamic radicals armed with box cutters taking orders from a guy in a cave in Afghanistan could defeat our multi-billion-dollar air defense system, which the Russians couldn't do.
Jesse, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Really?
Unfortunately, they exposed a massive flaw in Homeland Security.
And what was it?
The flaw was that these guys had been training and often aiming to go one way, aiming to land planes in a certain manner. In fact, not even land them. In order to take off but not land. All these were clues that this was a weird set of circumstances. I'm afraid that's exactly what happened. And the trouble with being a conspiracy theorist, and I've got great respect for you, and your book's very readable. The problem is, once you start buying into these theories, you never stop. And with the internet these days, there's a theory about everything.
So they don't let Ventura spawn there. They just let Piers Corbyn have the final word. Ladies and gentlemen, FBI agents in Phoenix, in Florida, in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, in San Diego, all said these guys are wanting to basically hijack planes and fly them in the World Trade Center. That was in a memo. And the FBI agents were then reprimanded for continuing their investigations. Now, who were the hijackers? Well, I have Newsweek. I have Associated Press confirming. I have the dean of the Defense Language School, the colonel, came out and said, these guys trained at my school. These guys were government agents. I don't know exactly what happened, but they were trained at military bases and they were trained at my school. See, that's what Ventura has in his book. He's got the stand-down orders. He's got things like Northwoods and Tonkin where they staged events or talked about staging events. It's in an Army field manual that WikiLeaks put out 4 years ago that the Pentagon admits is real. They want to prosecute whoever released it, where they teach Army captains in Black Ops how to stage terror. I mean, it's been declassified in Vietnam that our military early on when they were advisors in 60, 61, 2, 3, the CIA would stage terror attacks. Graham Greene in The Quiet American put it in a fictional account in his book, but that's a true story. That's how they get this stuff out past the censors. They do this. Hitler did it. The Russians do it. The czars did it before the communists. This is the oldest trick in the book. Nero didn't like the Christians. He burned part of Rome and blamed it on them and then rounded them up and killed them. It's a frame-up. You ever heard of a frame-up? It's like somebody, let's say somebody, you know, this happens in business all the time, doesn't like you in your office. So they put marijuana in your cabinet, in your file cabinet, and then tattle on you. I mean, you don't understand. I mean, it's been declassified, actually leaked, and they admitted it was accurate. The White House memo, the Downing Street memos, 2002, George W. Bush in meetings with Tony Blair saying, look, we're already going in. We got to fix the intelligence. I don't care if there's not WMDs. We've got to lie. And they lied about WMDs and that